Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the build series for the AMT 66 Chevy Nova. So last video we built the engine and here, different angle, sorry. Last video we built the engine and got it looking snazzy with some blue body color on some of the parts. And that's the that's where we left off. Now we which was the first 3 stages of building this. And now we are on stage 4, and we're gonna start putting together the chassis for the for this car and get it ready to house our engine so we can get it installed onto the chassis. Since the last video, I have primed the entire rest of the kit except for the body. The actual body part I did not prime, but I did prime the chassis, which we need for this video, so let's get that out. So there is the chassis, and we only primed the bottom part because the bottom part's the only thing you see. There's other parts that go on top of all of this and that have to be glued on there, so didn't prime that. But that's primed. We left the body for a different day. When we get to the body, we'll do a whole video on just getting this guy prepped, because I really want the body to look good on this model, so it'd be realistic. So get that out of the way. But all the remaining all the sprues, I primed. Everything that's supposed to get primer, that is going to be painted, I primed. And the only thing that he had already painted that I that I primed anyways instead of leaving it was the steering wheel. He had all gloss black, but it was not a great job, and I'm gonna have to do some work with it anyways. There's a part of it that has snapped off and it's bent. Like, I'm gonna have to do work anyways, and I wasn't gonna mask off that one steering wheel for this whole sprue, so we'll just repaint it. He's got the engine anyways. And then there's this one, which it was only, I'm not worried about the scoop, but there was only the inner wheel pieces that needed to be primed. I left these painted because he painted them, but I got to look at them. I think I may change them as well. These are the exhaust pipes. I think I may do them black, but he's got them still aluminum, which need to be touched up anyways. I may leave them aluminum and just I just work on making the ends of them look like the end of a pipe and not just a end of a piece of plastic like it does. These other parts, I'm fine with how he's got painted, other than these springs. These spring shocks need to have a black spring, and the rear axle here, I don't want it the same color as our the housing, the chassis housing, because this is going to be aluminum. He's already got this aluminum. I don't want it to be the same color. I want it to contrast and look pretty, because this is a hot rod, and I think we're going to do it black. We can do it body color or black. I think we're going to do black. We'll see when we get there, though. That's everything else we painted. Oh, and there's the dash. Put all this back. The other thing that we're going to do in this video is we left off the we left off the air filters that go on top of these carburetors, and because I wasn't sure, they said optional, and what I don't want is I do not want to put this air scoop on the hood. I don't like that at all, and that is optional. And I didn't want to have to drill through the hood to make the air scoop due to making room for the engine. However, I got to looking at it, and the reason it said optional was that if you're going to use the scoop, their air filters take up too much space above the hood to attach it. You've got to have the hole in the hood regardless because it's a hot rod. It's going to stick through. And so we're going to put them on there. And just drill the hole in the hood and everything. But instead of having that goofy looking scoop, we're going to have just the engine sticking out, which I think is going to look pretty sharp. It'll look pretty cool, and I like that a lot better than that scoop. So we're going to get those prepped and installed on here this video as well as there's some finish work on the ends of these pipes where there's a seam. So that's also in this video. But primarily for this video, we're getting the chassis built. Here's the bottom chassis, and then we need to take and install the we need to install the firewall and the wheel housings and start getting the other parts attached, getting ready so that we can install this engine in there, and then that's where we'll call it for this video when we get to that point. But to paint these up, all right, I'm getting confused here. This says paint the top side aluminum, but from what I can tell, besides this clamp part, from what I can tell, this clamp part and that bar is the only thing going to be visible on the model. I'll have to go back and check. If that's the only thing visible, then I did this right. But if for some reason, if this is visible, which I don't see how, but I'll check, then we'll prime the top of this and paint it too. But regardless, what we need to do is all the chassis pieces, we need to paint aluminum. And we've got aluminum, and that's going to be real easy because that stuff can go straight into the airbrush. I pretty much don't have to thin it. It's pre-prepped for that. And I like using that particular Vallejo paint. It works really well. So we're gonna get things prepped and ready to go and get some paint on these parts. And see you next update. Okay, guys. So I've been doing some prep work. I decided I was gonna prime the top side of this, just like it said, because I got to looking. The battery goes here. From what I can tell, you'll never see the battery once I put this together because you can't open the trunk. It's going to be permanently covered up, but just in case, I went in and painted it. And what you see here, there was tabs. The injection tabs were really poorly done, and that was another reason. I mean, they look like these, except they were really big. And that's another reason why I was really thinking that no one would see this side because it was just so bad. But I went and primed it, and then, like a dummy, waited until after I primed it to get out my Dremel, and I ground those off of there, and then I sanded it. I did some prep work on these. We're going to go ahead and put all of the chassis together before we paint it aluminum. That just makes the most sense because all of it's aluminum. And for the remaining parts of the engine, I did prep work on those. I repainted these spring shocks black. They were aluminum before because the dude painted them, but I couldn't let those go. They had to be black. And these are the air filters. And I came up with kind of a maroon red color that I just mixed with a little bit of some of my leftover. I had more than enough red mixed up, custom red paint from Deep Space Nine. I just mixed it with a little bit of rubber, and it gave me the color I was looking for. And yeah, just got everything prepped. Now we're gonna take and put this together, and then we're gonna go over to the or put the chassis together. Then we'll go over to the workbench and paint aluminum. My stuff makes a goopy mess. Okay, I'm just gonna take just enough CA glue to just enough CA glue to tack it down. That's how I use this stuff. I want to put actual model glue down to make a good bond normally, but I use CA glue to hold stuff down while it in addition to that. Okay. And then this piece, which is ironically got kind of a tight fit, and I didn't want to do it first for reasons, but now it looks like I should have done it first. Yep. Goes this way. Oops. I don't know if I can do it now. I would, screw it up on camera. That only makes the most sense, right? Ah! Something clicked. There we go. Okay. Alright, that firewall is, maybe I should have put it in first. I was thinking it'd be better to do the sidewalls first, because when I was trying to dry fit it, the firewall was causing issues with the alignment, but now I'm thinking I should have done it first. Let me just pop those loose real quick. One thing really holding them there is the super glue. Put another drop of goop on there. Maybe it'll be alright. Okay. Okay, now let's try to tack these on. Oops. tack these on real quick. Again. I've not got this at the best angle. I'm sorry. I'll lift it up a little bit. There we go. That helps a bunch. Probably got a bunch of less than usable footage out of that. Again, I'm not saying this is the best way to do this, or the right way. Just saying this is the way I like doing it. A lot of times I like using actual cement, which gives a permanent bond because it literally breaks down, it melts the plastics together basically. But I use the super glue to hold it in place while it does its thing. So I'm putting a lot of pressure against that firewall because this has a notch that it has to align with that's on the frame below it. And it's not wanting to do it very well with that firewall down. Okay. Well, now that I've glued my finger down, okay. Not perfect, but it'll do. So, show you. There's a notch right there. Little cutout. And I didn't get the alignment perfect, but I got as close as I could because this firewall doesn't want to cooperate. I think I'm going to take and put a drop of super glue to give a little bit further support to this frame. Like that. And just wipe out a little bit of the excess. Cool. Now we have a housing to put the engine. On our chassis. Okay, so the other parts of that is left is this crossbar that goes underneath right there that holds in the transmission just below where it attaches to the drive shaft. That's what that's called, right? But that attaches right there. This is not going to get aluminum. I want to paint this body color and this framing. You see the main support frames. I want to paint those a body color too. But I have to paint the rest of this first. So I'm going to do the whole thing in aluminum, and then I will mask off the rest of it to put the body color parts. And when I do that, I'll paint this as well, body color, before I attach it. That's going to be a lot easier to do that if it's not attached. Okay, well, I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll get some paint on it. And then when that paint is drying, we will put the air filter stack on here that we've got prepped up. So see you in a minute. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you something real quick since we're getting into painting with the spray booth. Here, put that on that. Oops. Anyways, using the airbrush and spray paints and stuff. And I'm doing this series more educational than I do the others. I'm kind of walking you through everything and not skipping around like I do the other stuff. So I thought I'd show you something. So we use our spray booth and everything. Use respirator. If you don't have one of those, I mean, a mask will do. I used this for a good while. I mean, it's pretty dirty on the outside because I've used it quite a bit before I finally got me a new respirator. So protect your lungs. You can even get you, if you're doing like heavy duty, real, like, dadgummit, I'm gonna have to clean that up. If you're doing real spray paint, like that, you can even wear you some goggles, something, just whatever, but main thing, protect your lungs. But I thought I'd show you something real quick that could help you in the drying stages. Okay, so this is a drying oven, and it is quite literally a cardboard box with correct hole size punched out of it, and then you take a hair dryer and you literally shove it down in the hole, turn it on low, and then you take your model that you've just sprayed and you've just painted, needs drying, and you take it and you put it inside, and then you shut the lid, and that will make the drying process much quicker for you. It will cure your paint quicker. Leave it in there running good 15 minutes and you should be good to go as far as it being dried and cured when you're painting your models, particularly when you're spraying them. And it'll get roughly around 100 degrees in there. Just a decent oven, and it keeps the dust and everything off of them while it's drying. So I just wanted to show you guys that. And we'll cut that out because we're not actually drying anything. And that little guy is already warm, and I've been talking to you just what, not even 30 seconds, and he's quite warm. But anyways, yeah, works really well. It works stupid well. You would think you would need something better than that, and like something like that would not work. You would never even think of doing that because it just seems silly. But no, it works really well, and when you're doing big bulk sections of your model that's got a whole pile of things that you're painting that need to be painted, and you don't want to wait forever to get them painted, this works really well. It makes it go much quicker because you can spray them in batches and then dry them in batches, and it makes things go really quick. So just a quick tip for you, and sorry about the really messy shop. It's just how it goes. I share this with other people that it's a real shop. Anyways, back to the video. Okay guys, while that stuff dries, let's do some work on this thing. Alright, so first up we're going to take this perfect plastic putty. Get rid of that bit. That's a little dry. And then we're going to take and work on the bad seams of these pipes. So, and the good thing about this stuff is it's water-based and it's really easy to work with and get nice results. I'm only worried about the two outside edge seams. The center I'm not worried about because another pipe is going to attach there and it needs to be glued down anyways. I find it's way better to use my finger, but I don't care about getting my hands dirty. Obviously, look at the thumb with the paint on it. I never have cared about getting my hands dirty. And then we take and let it dry, which won't take very long. Get it dry to the point where we can sand it, and then we can sand it smooth, and just keep doing that. Just repeat the process, the whole process, until you've got a nice smooth finish there with no seam. So we'll let that dry. So we're going to take these carburetor intake, air intake bowls, elevators. Let's see, what do they call them? What does this kit say they are? Velocity stacks. Carburetor stacks, velocity stacks, whatever. We're going to put those on here. Okay. I've already prepped the bottom of those. And needle file is fine. They can carefully scuff up where they attach to the carburetors. Get rid of a lot of that rough. Okay. And we're going to do this as well. I'm going to lay it flat. Where's my little toothpick? Stick it in the hole. And just the rim edge where it's going to attach to the air filter. Same thing with this one. Being careful not to let it scuff up more than the rim edge so that we can't see that, because there's a little bit of a differential between the air filter and the whatever this is, this stack. So we don't want to see the rest of that. All right. Carefully do it with this one. Anyways. You're just making a nice sandable surface. Not sandable surface. A nice surface that's got something for the friction to hold on to. Something for the glue to hold on to. Think friction in your mind. You're going to have more friction with texture, so you can put in a little texture. That's ready. Go ahead and get the zip kicker ready. And glue. Glue is fine. So couple drops there. And I'm going to touch it just to make sure we got just what we need, not a bunch of overlap. And it's acting funny. And 2. Let's just put some pressure and hold it. Okay. Now for the air filters. It got a little bit nicked, but it's not terrible. Chrome on top. Okay. We'll have to put the glue. On this surface, because it's just the will stick to my finger. Just the rim. Stop. Wouldn't you know it? Alright, before we make another mistake. Now it's trying to stick to me. Yeah, this one's proving a pain in the butt. Alright. Okay, and it's on there. There's not much holding that there. It's just the rim, like I said. Now let's do this one before we have another issue. I'm just gonna wipe my fingerprints off of they're not really coming off that well, but I'll get something and wipe them later. Just make it better. Okay. Well, they don't look very even, very level. I may do something about those later, but those are on now. Alright, this is dry now. Let's carefully sand it. I guess some of this 600 grit, wore out 600 grit. Okay. And carefully hard to get it where you need it. That 600 grit might be too much of a grit. That's saying something. I have to get my 2000. I might have to get a new piece of that though. It's not the easiest thing for me to get to. This is something that I should have done before I attached it to the engine. I should have went ahead and did this then, and then hit it with another coat of paint as well. Now I'm going to have to mask everything off to paint this, because this is a rattle can spray paint, this blue body color, and it's actual automotive spray paint. So I'm going to have to mask everything off just to touch it up. It's either that or painted a different color, but I like it, that body color. A nice contrast, especially with that orangish red block color. Just a little bit more on this one, and I think it will be passable. Do enough, it would pass. And we can hit it with some primer and repaint it the body color, and we'll be good to go. Alright, well, I think it's passable. Let me think. We could paint that a different color. Maybe black. But a black, like, because I mean, it's a fitting. It's a fitting that's housing all of those hoses, transitioning. It's a transition fitting that goes into the exhaust pipe. I think that's why it has that shape to it. So I mean, we could make it like a black fitting that'll go to the exhaust pipe. That way we won't have to spray it again. In fact, I think that's what I'll do. So we'll do that, but we'll probably show that next episode. Next part of the series. Anyways, moving on. We got that done now. Now we can move on to back to the body. So we'll go get that when it's dry and bring it to the workbench. Alright, everybody. Well, we've got all the aluminum on there. It looks really good. I really like that paint. It always looks really good to me. It actually makes it look like you can actually make something look like it's aluminum as far as the scale. Cool. So in like those places that are kind of rough looking, I'm okay with that, because if you've ever seen all these parts and how they fit together or welded on, and a lot of things look like that. It kind of adds to the effect, I think. Anyways, all right. So we're at this stage. We got our firewalls and wheel houses up, and we've got a housing for our engine to go in. But there's a couple or so things that need to happen before that goes in. For now, what we're going to do is install the shock springs that go on either side under the wheel houses, and we're going to do that right now. So first, we're going to put the bracket on there, the control arm. Again, we're just going to super glue these. Drop a super glue. Take a toothpick. Make sure it went around the edge. That's where it needs to be. And make sure that it is angled down. Look at the top side is the one that is angled down, and then it flattens off on the end of the triangle. Goes in right there. got paint there. Not a great way to do that. We will make it work. Just like that. Okay, now we'll take one of these. And I did some finish work on these as well and got rid of all of, like there was the injection circle was on there, as well as some other things. So I did some work on them. These are going to go, this flat bar goes on these. There's kind of sort of a little indention slot to show you where it sits. And it's just a tension hold. It's not like a pressure fit connection where it will actually hold there. It just it holds tension between the notch where the top of the spring is and the control arm. That's how it holds it. It's going to be glued in place, obviously, but it doesn't actually attach in that little groove. It's really just a locator to help you put it into the right place. Okay. Got it in. That was a pretty good fit. I saw the tension bar move a little bit with the when it went in. I believe I got it right. That piece of trash off of it. Alright. That's in. And we will put it on the groove. Line it up with the slot. You can push it in. There it is. Drop that control arm down when it fit in there properly. Everything's in line. There we go. Now we have our shock springs installed. And that is that. The only thing left now for stage 4, that is all, everything is this bar, this the crossbar that goes on the bottom that holds the transmission. But that is going to get painted same color as the body, because we've got other stuff that need painted that color as well, and including all of this frame, all of the metal framework under here is going to be painted body color. We'll wait until the next video when we dig into other parts of this that need to be body colored to put this piece in, because this piece is not vital yet. So we will leave it off. In fact, I will probably leave it off until we get the engine installed, so that it may cut down. That might cut down on issues trying to get it in here, because we're gonna have to like finagle this thing to get it down in there, especially with the way these pipes are. I can tell they're gonna have to be squeezed a bit, but yeah, that's the only thing left with this stage 4, step 4, whatever, of this model. And that's gonna do it for this part. I think there's plenty here, and it's gonna be the video is gonna be plenty long enough already. That last one was well over an hour, and that really, I I was surprised I got it down to that. I really don't want to have to deal with that again, and it makes me self-conscious about how much people are actually watching. So when they're that long, so we're gonna cut it here, and we will continue this in the next video with step 5, stage 5, putting in steering gearbox and the master cylinder, and then we will install the engine into our engine housing here. And in that video too, we will probably get our crossbar installed. Once that happens, we also need to do a little paint work where we've done some finish work around these connections on these pipes, hoses, and we'll probably start putting body color, since we got to paint this body color. Probably start putting our body color on our frame on the bottom side of the chassis. So that's what's coming up in the next part of this. So stay tuned for that. Keep watching out for that video. In the meantime, happy modeling. See you guys in the next one.